All right, once again, it's time for Off the Top Sportscast. I'm John, and that big guy right there is Roy. Roy, I have our topic of the day, but first, go ahead and like and subscribe. Go ahead and leave your comments. We love the participation. So, Roy, our topic today is sporting events. All right. So, why this popped in my mind is because the NCAA championship just got over. And I was thinking about what a event the whole tournament is.
Yeah.
Because the first day of the tournament is exciting. Everybody's got their brackets. So many games are played in that first weekend. It's crazy. Um, then you got the Sweet 16, then you got the Final Four, and then you've got the championship. So almost every step of it is kind of exciting. And I was just thinking about like the best sporting events. All right. So Roy, to you, when I say best sporting events, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
So again, let's just start kind of what you mentioned about March Madness, because that's what it's called, right? Many people are not basketball fans, but will do brackets, will watch brackets. I think March Madness, again, I'm not a college basketball player. Watcher. But I will watch some of the games for March Madness. And some of the games are really pivoting and pivotal to these teams. You think Duke. And then Houston came out of nowhere and I shouldn't say not nowhere because they were a good team, but they were not the ones that people thought will beat Duke. So March Madness is just one of these captivating events that of all basketball, is that people start to watch. So I think March Madness is a perfect discussion for many to go, man, that's something I check off as an event that is basketball fan or not a fan, you're going to go watch.
Yeah. And, I was trying to decide where is the point that becomes what's the best part, right? Is it the Sweet 16? Is it the Elite Eight, the Final Four? So the fact that there's so many, even just names for everything, tells you how big this is, But I was thinking that to me, the Sweet 16 is when we get in there. When we kind of know what the teams are. You've been watching or not watching. You can't get away from it. It's everywhere, right? You're going to hear these teams. You're going to get some Cinderellas. And, a lot of times the Cinderellas, that's kind of where they stop, that Sweet 16. So if you get a Cinderella story that comes to that Sweet 16, that's like the big, momentous occasion. So I was thinking the Sweet 16. Would you agree with that?
I would say the 16 is there's some upsets there. Once you get into the 8, now you got teams that they're battle tested. Now it's going to be a dogfight, So yeah, 16 is still very, very much exciting. Like, oh man, he made it, type deal. But let's go first. We talked about March Madness, but what would be one event you would say would be you love to watch or you're not a watcher, but that event you will watch?
Well, if we're talking about that I love to watch, something that I enjoy every year just happened, and that's opening day. I love opening day baseball. It's one of the one time. Now, I love baseball, so I'll watch other games, even though we're Yankee fans. I'll watch other games throughout the year, just to kind of see what they're doing, who these guys are. But on that day, I watch it all. It's a great time to get together. Everybody's starting at zero. Nobody knows anything. And I think more than any other sport, I would say more than any other sport, baseball teams change from year to year so drastically. Even if it's the same players, you just don't know how it's going to go and how it's going to start off. So I think that's the nice part about opening day, because it's like you get I didn't know how the Yankees were going to look this year. It was a lot of changes. And so opening day was great to see. And, the season has been great. So I'd say opening day as far as ones that I love.
Okay. Well, one that I don't know anything about.
Mm-hmm.
You'll hear about it. They'll start to come. And then if it comes on TV, I'll watch. I'll listen to what they say.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole event, really from start to finish, once it finishes, it's fast. It's the Kentucky Derby.
Oh.
I like the Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
They're talking about horses and they're showing. I know nothing about horses, but you see
Right.
man, that horse looks good. And they're calling, rock and rolling shipbreak. I'm like, where the heck did they come up with rock and rolling shipbreak or something like that? And they talk about
Right.
the winds and the sweetness and this, and everybody's wearing bonnets and suits and they're looking real good. The Kentucky, I don't know why. That Kentucky Derby can have me, and the fans, they're in the gates, and they're running. It's over. It's over.
Yeah.
And somebody won. For some reason, the Kentucky Derby I know nothing, but I could watch those few short minutes of a race.
I will tell you that's a heck of a pull because I did not think of that, but you are absolutely right. The prestige, the event, the pageantry, you know what I mean? You can get into it. I've actually been invited to Derby parties before, and people who don't, just like you, don't know anything about anything, they'll get together and drink bad mint juleps. And so I'll tell you one that I get into. I never really have a dog in the race, but it's not a sport that I readily watch. But when the World Cup comes around, I'm in. And the World Cup games can be very entertaining because it's the highest level of soccer. Everybody on the field is the best at what they do. So it's either going to be a crazy offensive output, or if you like the nuance of the game and you're watching these athletes out there, the defense of it, I'm impressed every time a goalie in soccer makes a stop. That goal is ginormous, and these guys can put it anywhere they want, and with speed, and it's crazy. So I like the and there's something about waking up on a Saturday at 9 o'clock, and I'm at a bar at 9 o'clock going, this is weird. You know what I mean? Because I want to see all the games, and something about that atmosphere that makes it even bigger.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. I agree. I didn't have that on one of mine, but I do watch. I do watch. You know what I mean? I love it. I watch it. Even if the only ones that I may know some players is the U.S. and then maybe one Spaniard, one Brazil,
Argentina,
one Argentinian. You know what I mean?
Brazil.
Yeah, but I do watch it, and I watch the men and women.
Yeah.
I think they're good soccer.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I think you watch. I wish there were even you knew more players. You know what I mean? But it's not
Sure.
a lot of sports that I watch that much.
Well, the problem with getting to know those players is a lot of times you'd have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to catch a game. You know what I mean? Because they're across the world. So,
all right.
I mean, we've come this far, and we haven't talked about the Super Bowl. There's not a lot to say. I think everybody readily knows that the Super Bowl is a huge event and fantastic. I mean,
I would say this. I'll be honest with you. If you were to tell me pick my top 3, top 10, top 20, the Super Bowl would not be in it.
Really?
Yeah, and I tell you why. Sometimes I fear there's not enough parity in football. You can think about it. When you look at if you go back, let's just say 10 years, who's been in the stinking Super Bowl?
Yeah, it was the Pats.
Multiple, the same team.
Yeah.
So that's why. Now, if I say football, then I say it as an event that I love to watch, that I'm all in, that I look at YouTube, I look at tape, is the NFL draft.
Mm,
Now that
yeah.
I listen to shows, who they say, I'm looking at different teams and who they're thinking maybe could trade up back. That NFL draft, the whole draft, I'm riveted and who I
Right.
think and what teams could think and what I think and feel. Meaning I have no insider knowledge, but I feel you get to know enough sometimes of the needs. You go, I like this move. And you want to see how
Hmm.
close to a move you are, right? So if you
Right.
say Super Bowl, NFL draft, I say NFL draft.
Okay.
Anyone, I would say NFL draft. For me, when I was looking at my list, nowhere near top 20 would be the Super Bowl. For me, NFL draft would be for me one of my top.
Now, oddly enough, NFL draft, I agree with you. It's a event of all events because it brings hope everywhere and simultaneously could shatter hope without anybody knowing anything yet. I mean, you think about when Josh Allen was drafted, everybody was like, Josh Allen, who's that? You know what I mean? So many players that have been drafted that nobody knew about and have changed their franchise for the better, or guys who they knew about and have changed their franchise for the worse. So I agree with that. You know what's funny to me is that the NBA draft doesn't have the same impact. And I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it because it's strange. The NFL draft, one player really won't take you over the top. You need guys to help that guy. You know what I mean? I don't care who the player is. You need the guys, you need the coach, you need the system, you need other people. However, in the NBA, you can get one great player and it can transform your team a little bit. It might not give you a championship, but it could take you from not in the playoffs to the playoffs, Paulo, right? With the Magic. It could take you from the play-in tournaments to now you're a fifth and fourth seed. So it's a funny thing that it just doesn't grab me the same way.
I think this is the reason. And you tell me if I'm right. Football, some teams go back. How many teams you see go back in the NBA? They want to go up. And when you look at impact players in the NBA, most of them, if you're on pick 10 or 11, not that they can't hit, they're probably not going to hit. Very rarely. You need to be almost in the top 5 that you go, I have a stud. 6, maybe 7, maybe 10, maybe 11. But really, 10, 11 pick, you go, I got a second rounder. Who cares? I got a third round. I don't care. I don't want to watch no more. That's the thing. I don't want to watch anymore after the first round. Football, you watch round. You will watch rounds and be considerate. Ooh, we got 2 seconds. We got a third. So we traded. We're going to watch even later rounds.
Yeah. Now, it's something that I feel like has peaked and is now on the decline as an event. Is the NFL Combine.
Yeah.
It's the biggest non-event anyway, right? Nothing's really happening. But now I think we have seen the last of these really top prospects doing anything in the Combine.
Yeah.
So that's something that's going to be falling off. I'm going to tell you one thing that I don't watch. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm not a big, huge fan of. But I have watched this event, and there's something about it, the prestige around it, and how it all culminates to this moment. And that's the Masters. I'm not a huge golf person.
Yeah.
Right. But there have been some exciting moments. I have sat there or when it's on and I think something about because it's so pretty. The area is so pretty. It's a great just watch. I'm not paying attention or whatever, but if it's on, it's just it's on and it's a good watch. And there are times that I can get in.
Yeah, I Masters. Now again, let's comparison. You say Masters. What I like the Ryder's Cup. I like that better. Why? Masters is one-on-one, right? Ryder's
You like
Cup
the team?
is team. I like the team. You can go, oh man, they what is Tiger gonna do in the Masters? See, they play nothing. You know what I mean? They still playing them, but you put him on the Ryder's Cup, his positive or negatives could be outweighed, you know what I mean, by the team, just him being on it. I like the Ryder's Cup. I think it's the best of the best. For me, it's almost a wrestling match. They're throwing them all in there, So I think if you were comparing to me, Masters Ryder, for me, the Ryder's Cup is a little better, more exciting of a thing that I would even watch a little bit.
Yeah, it is true what you say too, because it's also guys who are against each other. But from this one time, they're cheering and high fiving each other.
Yes,
so
that's why I like it. That's why I like it.
What's one of your other ones that you're a fan of? Like one of your tops?
That I would say that I am on the top. That I say I don't really care. I'm not I would never watch this on its own, but I watch. It is the Olympics in general. As events, I watch. The summer, the winter. I do watch probably the summer a little bit more. I love the track and field. And I wish I could see more of some of the events. I wish they could fix that a little bit better. They do good, but I wish they could fix it a little bit better. But because of the time, but I love because I don't see these people. But you're seeing these long jumpers, the 40, whatever it is, 400, 100. I do enjoy watching these people. I don't know from Adam. I don't know any of them. Maybe two runners because they're commercials. But man, to see these people just run and hand a little baton, and you think, how hard could that be? No, that's thinking hard. To pole vault, to to be a what is it called, decathlons. It's a tough, and it takes strategy. The same with the Olympics. I'm not gonna watch the winner. I don't care who does ski around a circle. You know what I mean? Speed skiing. But then all of a sudden you go, man, it's pretty cool to see this do that and the strategy. So I say for me, it's any of the Olympics.
Yeah, and you've told me before how much you like the swimming. Yeah, and it is true because in some sports, you can watch and you'll watch the guys over the women, or vice versa. The women, sometimes with the World Cup, you watch the women for the USA more than the men's USA. But the Olympics is the great equalizer because you watch both with the same interest because it's just the best athletes, and it is incredible what they can do. And I'll agree with you. With the technology that we have, that we can make apps and stuff like that, the fact that there's not an Olympic app that I can go in and you can say, hey, at 12 o'clock Thursday, you can just pick whatever event you want to see. And then once that event's over, you go back to the event you missed, you know what I mean? That now it's not live, but it's recorded. And just don't post the results on the thumbnail. All we need, right? Because I'm not getting text messages or whatever. So one of them that actually happened this year that was new to me, but I greatly enjoyed it. The intensity, the care that these guys put into this, they wanted it, was the Four Nations tournament with hockey.
Oh, that was was this the first time or they've always had. Because to tell you the truth, this is the only time I've seen that thing, and I loved it.
I want to say it was the second time. I don't know. But this is the first time that I was alerted to it.
Me too.
First time I caught it, I'll tell you what, I won't miss it again.
Yeah, I was hooked.
I won't miss it again because it's not, it wasn't, international, like when the NBA guys are playing those international games where it's not the Olympics yet, but they're doing the qualifiers and you don't quite have your squad or whatever. Those games are never good.
I hate them.
But this is good. I mean,
they were shootout. They dropped the puck. They dropped the stinking puck, and these guys were swinging away. They dropping their gloves.
Yeah.
What happened? Somebody talk about somebody's mother. What happened?
Yeah. And if other countries are not setting up their own four nations, because all you need is like four nations here, four nations there, four nations there, and four nations there. And then the winners of those teams come to play together a four nations world tournament. I mean, it writes itself, and everybody would be watching because it was really, really fun to watch. High stakes. There was no stakes really, but high stakes as it can be because these guys really wanted to prove who was the best country in hockey, and in the last game was fantastic. So Four Nations is one of those that I thought was great.
You know what? I thought the same thing. I thought it was one of those things that, man, this was, and I watch hockey every now and then, especially in the finals. I'll watch hockey. It's good hockey. Yeah. Hockey is, the one thing about hockey is, man, you can pick up any game. These guys are playing like it's the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. You can't play halfway hockey.
No, you can't. Those games, I like you said, I was riveted. I was like, holy moly, that was awesome hockey. Awesome hockey. It showed also, what I also see too is when you look at some of, you would think, what's the word I want to say? Foreign player hockey, that's dominant. Like soccer, it's the foreign players that dominate. USA is not doing really as much. In basketball, though, USA is doing well. Hockey, too, they're a strong team. They're a really strong team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it also helps that we have a league here that's in America that spans America and Canada. So, even though soccer is going to be, it's coming. The MLS is coming.
Yeah, I think the MLS is there. I think it's good. I just don't feel like we've gotten most of our stars are still playing. The stars are not in the MLS. They're playing foreign because they think the competition is better there, which is true. MLS is good. Right. And then some of the foreign players who are almost retirement come to the MLS because of their name. We pay their name. All right. Something that I think, again, is pivotal, like March Madness, is the college national football. When you talk about the playoff systems that we have kind of now, the bowl games, the teams wanting to make the bowls, and some of these little teams, they make the little bowls. Those are nice. When you talk about the Rose Bowl and the Cotton Bowl, some of the bigger bowls, and playing for the national championship, I think that's, for me, to tell you the truth, sometimes that's more exciting than the Super Bowl.
Well, I don't know about that.
I think so, because you think about who you could tell me who was in it last year, you know what I mean, and maybe the last year before, and they change up. You may get Alabama's been there. Where's Alabama now? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I like that parity and the opportunity to see some of these kids who are going to be in the NFL and to see good old fashioned football. You know what I mean? I love it. I don't like the NIL deals, but I like the football.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. I think college football, the only thing is that you really, really are locked in on your teams. I don't want to say more than the sport of college football, than more, but really more than the sport. In the NFL, you're locked into the NFL because how many times your team's not playing on Monday night, but you're watching the Monday night game,
Oh
the
yeah.
Thursday night game. You know, if your team's not playing on a night, on Friday night, you're probably not watching, Oregon versus Nebraska, on any given night. So that's the only difference to me about Super Bowl as opposed to those bowl games, that it's like the NFL and the Super Bowl to me is like a soap opera that's been going on, and it's been going on it started in the combine, and then we talk about these guys, and then these guys get drafted, and we talk about and then now there's new characters because now there's coaches and general managers, and there's their agents, and oh, look at the girlfriend, and then it goes into the season, and now this is the main part, and it crescendos, and it ends with the Super Bowl. So it's like, this is like the finale of it. College football, unfortunately, you don't know all the players like that as much. Here's something that I think I'm going to say, one that I think is probably, maybe, I don't know how you're going to react to this, but ever since I was a kid, and I don't always keep up with the sport, but I do enjoy this every time I watch it, and it's Wimbledon. I like tennis. I enjoy good tennis. When Sampras was there, I mean, those were great matches. When you get these two rivals that go against each other, Jokic and all these guys that we've had some really good ones. And when Serena was there, and the Kournikova was the big upstart, or when all these people who have played throughout the years, Wimbledon can be a great watch. And I've enjoyed it every time I watch it. Now, do I go out of my way to watch it? I cannot say that I do, but I do. I have watched it, and I have watched it for long stretches, and see it and turn it on and leave it on and watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, it's not my big thing, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna say something that is an event I like. I've always liked. And it's almost, if I can give you an example, this event is like a deck of cards that you throw. It's like 52 pickup. You ever hit someone do that? Like a deck of cards. Like you shuffle a deck of cards, or you just take it and you throw it, and you say a number. You don't know what the heck you're right. Wow, you picked the number, heart of 3 of clubs. How did you know? How was that going to come out? This event, you know what the event I'm talking about is like that, which you could watch. When it starts, it does not finish that way.
Okay.
There's almost no way you could project how it's going to finish. And at the point you think it's going to finish, it may not finish that way. And again, people, if you're looking and watching right now, we're picking events, sporting events, or events that we feel for us are pivotal, have to watch.
I wonder if you're thinking of the Daytona 500.
Daytona 500. Yes, you're right. Son of a gun. Think about it.
Yeah.
Beautiful cars. You get bought into, hey, am I watching, the Home Depot car? Am I watching whatever car it is? Sometimes I go, oh man, I didn't know. I wish they have cars. Sometimes they do or not. Snap-on, tools. Oh, whatever, whoever it is, STP oil,
right,
Domino's Pizza, whatever it is. Yeah, you buy into the driver. You just maybe you don't buy into the driver. You buy into the car. Because I was a big Home Depot steward. I like that. I like his ruggedness. I don't care. But then you buy into the car. You buy into the team. You see these guys jumping out. Here. Oh, he's in the front. He's starting. Boom! Crash.
Right.
Everybody now slows down. The guy in front, now they all slow down. They have to stay in line. So now he wasn't 20 car lanes. He's still 20 car lanes, but it's not that far as it was before. Now, here we go. They got the flag. 3 laps later, 2 laps later, bam, another car crash. Somebody's
Sure.
tire came in. They got to go to caution. Everybody starts hitting the pits. The guy wonders, is he low on fuel? Should he go another lap? His tires, is he going to go on 2 new ones? 4, change out 4, change out. You go, what do you mean change out 4? Don't change out the tires at all. Man.
And if you have a bad pit, you can go in at fifth and come out at 10th. You know what I mean?
There's been times where you see people, they pit wrong, they get penalized. I saw one not too long ago. He pitted in not his pit, but a team, because they have teams. And then he got penalized or whatever. And I'm going, man, and there's strategies, there's fights that break out. Somebody bumps you in the back, just a little bit. You spin up. And I'm going, to me, that's the biggest 52 pickup that no one can ever say. There's nothing you can tell me that you go, I know who's going to win.
Right.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Did you see the other day, and I don't know the scenario because I don't know racing like that. I don't know why he decided to do this. Maybe his steering locked up or something. This driver said, he was talking to his crew and he said, I'm just going to hammer it and see what happens. And he hammered it, Roy. You didn't see it.
I don't know.
He hit the wall and he let his car grind against the wall all the way around, and it literally slingshotted him around. And I think he got like onto pole position because of that. Like he just scraped all the way around like one of the turns. And so, he's outside because everybody's inside, and and everybody just saw him passing and was going, what is with, because he didn't have to slow down the turn. He was just foot on the gas the whole way. And he actually slingshot right around everybody. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Most ridiculous things.
And why,
but you're right.
You think about it too, John. A lot of people don't know racing is about points. You win races coming, you get points. And think about it. It's the only sport men and women could be equal.
That's true. Very true. That's it. You're right. Now and that all the cars are equal.
Yeah.
This is about skill.
It's about skill.
This is about skill. This is not about how big and strong you are. This is about skill, because for the most part, the people are the denominators, because they're the wild cards, right? The people on your crew, the people in that your mechanics, you as a driver, the owner, but everything else is going to be the same. Track's not changing. If it rains for me, it rains for you. Hey, that's a good one. I like that one.
I love it. Pick another one, because I got my next one is coming, and it's going to shock you. The one I'm saying that I watch all the stinking time.
Well, the one I was going to say was something that I don't even keep up with it. And it's not, this is the one event that I'm going to say, you don't have to know what's happening. And you can sit down and watch it and be thoroughly entertained. Entertained is the word. Because I'm going to say WrestleMania is a crazy event. You don't really need to keep, there's storylines that lead up to WrestleMania for 2 years.
Good one.
Don't worry. They'll tell you.
Good one.
They're going to explain it. Don't you worry. And it's something that you can put on and go, that was fun to watch. And the more you know, maybe even the more you get out of it. You know what I mean? But you don't really have to know. And you could jump in at WrestleMania. Like if you just jumped in on some of these other events that we mentioned, and you just jump in the middle of it, you'd go, what's going on? Has this team been doing well all year? But when WrestleMania comes along,
you don't need to know. You just I think WrestleMania is the part
your eyes are telling you this is fantastic.
I would say it is one of the, it's like a Super Bowl where
Yeah.
people remember WrestleManias, that they're numbered, that people go, they say they took their son, they say that's where I became a wrestling fan, whatever it is. I agree. Many people may not say it, they may not consider it a sporting event or whatever, but it is for me, top, it is, what would I say? It is a memory maker as an event.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I get that it's entertainment, and that's why I said you're going to be entertained. But as far as sporting event, if we're going to categorize that, these guys and these girls are supreme athletes. You cannot do the things that they do, the moves that they do, and recover the way they do if you're not. Listen, I don't know how many people out there has ever played with their friends when they were young and their friend DDT'd them, but they didn't do it the fake way and you hit the ground. Yeah, you learn real quick. Oh, if you do this wrong, you get really hurt. Or a body slam or anything like that. You do one. These guys and girls are getting slammed over and over again, and keeping a storyline going and keeping it the mystique and the mystery alive of it for, I don't know how many generations now, because I remember my grandmother loving it when she was in Puerto Rico, and we loved it as kids, and my son loved it, and I'm sure his kids will too.
I agree. I think that's one of those, there's a lot of good events, but those are one of a kind, iconic events, All right, this one, how can I build this one up? This one is totally different, but it's an event that I think people can watch as a family. You watch as a family. You do pick a winner. You do pick a favorite when you see it. I don't want to give you everything, but
I don't know why something popped into my head.
Okay, you tell me.
And I don't have it written down.
Okay. Let me tell me if you're anything. So
okay,
there is going to be one that is going to be considered the best of all in this event, and there's going to be different categories of this event. And I watch this event when it comes on. I just come across it, but when I do, I watch it because I love it. Is the Westminster Dog Show. It is the best. It's the best. Here we're gonna have the working class dog.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
The German Shepherd, born a historical value, the kings and queens. It was made to hunt lions. And I love it. I love it. They give the history. What do they'll say? The German Shepherd trainer Lois, trained by Lois, is best in show 5 years in a row, and I'm like, they're talking. Then the judge sends him around a second time. Then the judge,
so serious.
Man, that is crazy of a show. The German Shepherd, the Jack Russell, the poodle. The poodle looks great this year. Look at it. If you notice the poodle, the measurements of the poodle, what they look specifically is for how high the hind legs are. I'm just like, wow, look at that. That's right. Oh man, I think the French Bulldog's going to win this year. You buy in, man. That's for me. The stinking. The Westminster Dog Show. Come on.
Here's a funny thing about what you just said, because it's so true, right? You're sitting there with a mouthful of turkey, and you're just looking, and you're like, and you all of a sudden become an expert. You start pointing out the things that they're doing wrong. Oh, look at how she's walking that dog.
Yeah. No, I'm going like this.
Yeah, looking at your dog.
I'm like, man.
So what's really funny is I thought you were going to say something even more absurd. I thought you were about to say the spelling bee.
Oh no. Okay, but I got two honorable mentions. Mentions. But okay, I go with the Westminster. Listen, I never know when it's coming, but when I go, I go, oh shoot. And they're talking about it. The golden retriever is the perfect family dog. Watch it. And I'm like, man, that's right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, check this out. You know what I mean? I love the West.
My favorite part is about that whole thing is that these people are rock stars in their world. Nobody else. They could walk down any other street, but in their world, oh, this is my time. That lady walked in there with her little vest, and that's the vest she's been wearing for the last 16 years. That's her signature.
Hey, you know,
And she could win.
this is my favorite move. You see, the dog is standing there, right? They lift it up, they set it up, and then they start so the dog could give eye contact. They have this treat, and then they go like this. They put it in their mouth, so the dog looks at the treat. And I'm like, what the heck did she just put in her mouth? You know what I mean? I tell
Hey,
you,
you know what? You know what's funny? That's exactly what the dog is thinking. So it worked on you the
Yeah.
same way that it was supposed to work on the dog.
I love the show. I love it. I love it. I got two
All right.
honorable mentions, but
Okay.
you want to hear my honorable mentions?
Yes.
That are listen, I've watched. Why? I don't know. And one that I've watched, I'll even start to give my opinion. One, first one, I don't know why I watch it. The Nathan's hot dog eating competition.
Oh, gross.
I watch it.
Mm, okay.
They're eating pancakes or with the hot dog one. Come on, man. To see the skinny Chinese person, skinny, what was that guy named? What is his name?
Chestnut. Joey Chestnut.
Chestnut.
No, Chestnut. Yeah.
Chestnut. To see those guys eating, you go, where's all the big guys? And it's the skinny guys. That I don't know why I watch, but I do watch it.
Okay.
My second honorable mention
All right.
that I watch. I've watched, and then I start to judge. And I judge hard.
Okay.
I judge hard. I think I'm a little too hard. The Miss Universe competition or Miss. I really do. I'm going, I hate her answer. She sounds horrible. I think Venezuela's going to win. It's got no talent at all.
I hate the introduction. Bolivia! That just drives me crazy.
Like,
I don't know
what the
why.
heck is she wearing? That is the ugliest dress I've ever seen in the world. But I judge them. I judge them really hard. I'm a little hard. But those are my two honorable mentions.
That is hilarious. I love that. That is really funny. The one I was going to bring up as honorable mention was the World Baseball Classic. I think it's a great event.
It's become better.
Yeah, I don't always watch every team, like every round or whatever. I'm watching, the U.S. and I'm watching Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and Cuba. I'm watching the heavy hitters, and Japan, but I do watch it. It's a great event. You don't always know everybody who's in it, but that's kind of the nice thing about it. And sometimes, some of these Spanish countries and Asian countries, you can see a 16-year-old pitcher and go, I'm watching for that kid when he comes out because he's going to be great, So that's something that I do enjoy. Trying to look here. And I never really watched the Tour de France. That's something else that I have on here. I'm not the long races like the Chicago race. What is it called? The triad,
Well, you got Boston, like Mary. You're talking about Boston Marathon.
The marathon. Thank you. I'm not into that. I'll honorable mention it just because I'm a lacrosse dad now. I really have enjoyed the last couple of years the championship game in college for lacrosse. I mean, this is some really high level. These guys are really good. These schools are flipping in and out because it's all kind of Ivy League schools and high end schools that have the biggest uh, lacrosse, backgrounds and stuff. And any sport that's played at its highest level, I'm in.
Yeah.
The only sport that I cannot watch is cricket. I hate it. I don't get it. It's too long. It's too slow. That one I can't.
Well, let me mention a couple. I got a list here. Let me mention a couple things. We're not going to say them all, but I'll just name some which we have named. But I'm going to name it. I'm going to start from number 1 on down. So that is the best that they say, and I'll just run down. Number 1, the Masters, FIFA World Cup, Super Bowl, Summer Olympics, the Army-Navy game. So Army-Navy game is ranked 5. New York City Marathon, Baseball World Series, Winter Olympics.
The thing about the Army-Navy game, it is a spectacle.
It is
a spectacle.
Yeah,
the uniforms are nice. The on the field, and you see all the uniforms in the field. It is a cool thing,
I agree. So I've watched it.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's always the best football. I don't, because their team is the best football, but I do think. All right, then and again, these are not always events, but like what people like to watch. Number 9, Red Sox, Yankees at Yankee Stadium. UConn versus Duke. Wimbledon, Stanley Cup, Tour de France, Cub game at Wrigley. And again, some of the I don't even know. BCS Championship game in New Orleans. Liverpool versus Manchester. Michigan versus Ohio State. NFL.
The BCS is the college football championship.
Let's see. NFL Conference Championship, Daytona 500, Final Four, Ryder Cup, Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend. Harvard versus Yale. Kentucky Derby is the 24th. UEFA Championship League, Rose Bowl, British Open, horse racing at Saratoga, smaller race than the Kentucky Derby. Late season Green Bay Packer game at the stadium there.
Lambeau.
Canada versus Maple Leafs, Indy 500, Professional Bull Riding World's Finals, Dubai World Cup, Hong Kong 7. I don't know what the heck that is. Monaco Grand Prix, Running of the Bulls is number 36.
Yeah. Hold on before you go, because you reminded me of one or two of them that are visual spectacles that you go, this is really cool. Whenever they play in the cornfield, that baseball game.
That's a nice one.
That's really cool. Yeah, the Field of Dreams game is really cool. And whenever they play that hockey game outside on the frozen lake.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah.
That is a really cool spectacle. It's a really cool, just the atmosphere of it. Those two things, when you watch them, and I can't even imagine being there, how it would transform you back into a kid.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Just a few more. 37, Rugby World Cup, Red River Shootout, Notre Dame football, number 40, MLB All-Star Game. I'll stop there. So those are some of the...
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy, I'll watch almost anything sports related. I have sat there and watched curling for way longer than I needed to. And I also start to do the whole thing that I start to figure out the rules and you see him, what he did there, his technique. But that guy slides all the way down yelling. That guy, he lets it go, but he stays all the way at the top. He doesn't interfere with his people. He must trust them. That other guy doesn't trust. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. These guys are sweeping and sliding and doing all this stuff. So those are spectacles that I do like. So guys, let us know what you think about our list. Let us know what you think about this conversation, and tell us, what's your favorite sporting event? Maybe it's way more specific. Maybe it's your region. Maybe it's some high school thing that goes on rivalry game. I don't know.
Surfing
You know,
events, any event that you say, hey man, I'll watch it, I love it, I like it. Listen, let us know. But please subscribe. If you like it, don't hurt. Just say you like it. Just subscribe. Give us some feedback. We appreciate it. It's a little show off the top, two guys talking about sports. But John, like always, what's the one thing we tell people always to do?
talk to a stranger about sports today.